Hi folks, Chris Anderson with Mount Comfort RV. We're just on the outskirts of Indianapolis, Indiana, if you're looking for us. Today we're going to talk about the Utah Grand Tour from Somerset. This is obviously a pop-up, fold down, whatever you want to call it, camper. This is the Mac Daddy of all pop-ups and fold downs. There's a lot of other products out there, you know, whether you're dealing with Palominos or Rockwoods or Jaycos or Starcrafts or any of the other brands of pop-ups that are out there. There's a lot of them out there, but there's nothing else that's built like this. If you're looking for the cheapest, you're looking for the lightest, you're not looking for this pop-up, okay? This is for the most extreme, the hardcore, the more rugged. If that's what you're looking for, then this is something to talk about. Somerset is owned by A-Liner. We're all part of this. Actually, they're all part of the same company, I should say. So they've been around since 1983. They started building really beefy pop-ups a few years ago because they noticed a void in the marketplace. Back in the 90s, we had Coleman built by Fleetwood, which was really the Mac Daddy of all pop-ups back then. Coleman is anymore just a licensing name. They don't build anything. So that's gone by the wayside. And there was a void in the marketplace for something different, something beefier, something more rugged, something better built. That's what we're talking about here. So, all right, let's get into it. First things first is the lift system. It is a very unique lift system. These are individual lifts, not all one lift tied together. On most pop-ups, you have that crank on the front, you got that cable going back, the cable breaks, the pop-up lid comes down, you're done. Camping trip's over, kids are crying, no fun is being had. Certainly not by the parents. That's why they come with those sleeves that go over this to hold it up just in case the cable breaks while you're using it. So that's kind of reassuring, isn't it? This does not come with those little sleeves because if the cable breaks, if anything breaks in the system, it only takes 3 legs to raise and lower this system, and it will work perfectly fine without it. So your camping trip will not be ruined if a cable breaks. Secondly, being stainless steel, the odds of anything happening here are slim to none. Thirdly, there's not one cable that drives this whole thing up and down. There's actually a spline screw on the back, and by the way, on this camper it is electric, so it's press of a button and it goes up and down. But that spline screw is what makes things happen in this camper. It is adjustable. It is warranted for 5 years. It is a rugged system. So that's first and foremost on there. Certainly an easier lift system. Secondly, this is galvanized steel on the outside. Most products you see in the marketplace are a laminated product. They're just a laminated fiberglass because it's cheap and it's light. And like I said, there's certainly a place for that in the marketplace. It's just not what we were looking for here. These are a double wall. So you have a layer of metal, a void, another layer. It's very solid material, and kind of built like a car door would be built. Just a little better construction here, and certainly steel versus fiberglass, which one's stronger? It's not really brain surgery when you think about it. Beautiful aluminum wheels on here. When you look, one thing I want to point out, let's go back to the front for a minute here. One thing I want to point out, look at the frame on this thing. Look at the size of that. That's travel trailer frame, not pop-up frame. Most pop-ups have a frame like, well, here, I'll pick on my own product. Come over here for a minute. Now, this is a smaller unit, to be fair, but this is your frame on a Real-Lite. Now, a Real-Lite is a fine product, but it's not. We're just comparing apples to oranges there. That's your typical pop-up frame. You can see the difference right from the get-go here if you just start right up front with the frame. Okay, the jacks, instead of having some janky pull down jack that you pull down and extend, these are actually a solid crank down jack. You can put a 3/4 inch socket on the end of your cordless drill and run that down in about 5 seconds. So 4 individual jacks is going to make it a much more stable platform. The material here, everybody else uses all vinyl all over. Okay, there are some vinyl on here in areas that need to be reinforced, and that's actually doubled up down there, but what we have here is double stitched Sumbrella 302. Sumbrella 302 is actually a breathable product. That's the difference on a moist day, on a rainy day. If you're just wrapped in vinyl all the way around, that doesn't breathe. You're going to be sweating. It's going to be humid. It's going to be sticky in there. This product actually breathes. So even on that rainy day, you're not in a sweat box in here. Number one. Number two, this does not wick like when you touch it on the inside, like on an old canvas tent, and there now the tent's going to leak there forever. That's not the case here. Okay, this actually, if you touch it on the inside, you know what happens? Nothing. So doesn't leak. No drama there. When you start looking here at the construction, look at the way we're riveted together. This is an extruded piece of aluminum. Everybody else uses plastic. A lot of times there's a seam right here that there's caulk. That's what you're counting on not leaking, is the caulk. This is extruded aluminum. The top comes down over this part when we're closed up. Water does not run uphill. There's no way that's leaking. I mean, that's just, it's one piece. It's one piece over another piece. That's a great design. We do have some of the features that you'll see on other pop-ups, like outdoor speakers. We have actually power outlets out here if you want to run the margarita machine from there. We have aluminum wheels. We have this one, actually we have hot water on as well, so that's nice, 6-gallon hot water tank. As we come back to the back, you're going to see these poles here. This is a little different than most pop-ups. Most pop-ups, you have the poles, they all go in a bag and you throw them inside when you put the camper away. And then you go to get it out and it's been 3 months and you get it out and you got all these poles, and do these go on the front or the back? These are too long for the front, too short for the back. The confusion starts, you lose a pole, you break a pole. Lots of things can happen. These poles, they're hinged at the back up here, okay? And when you get ready to fold this up, it actually snaps in to that little clip right there, okay? And the pole never leaves its spot. So when you fold it up, you just buckle the pole into that clip, shove the bed in. It's easy. The tracks on here are aluminum tracks as well. I'm sorry, stainless steel tracks as well. So they're not going to rust. They're not going to, when they start getting rust in them, if a track starts to get rust in it, it makes the bed very hard to push in and out. I always tell people, if you're considering this product, go set up a regular pop-up, come in and set up this one. You will see a difference. There's an amazing quality difference between them, and that's one of the easiest areas to see it. Obviously, we set up a little higher off the ground on this one, so they couldn't use the stepper door that they use in some of them. So they put, not a fold down step on it, they put a travel trailer step on it. That's a much beefier step. We have a propane hookup out here, so any grills or anything that we want to hook up, you can actually plug directly into your propane. You don't have to bring the separate little bottles if you don't want to. All right, let's walk around the outside of this one. And holy smokes, the first thing I see is we have a slide out. This is a 12-foot box, but it's a 12-foot box with a slide out on it. It's very big. Once we get inside, that's one of the things you're going to see. The roof on here, it's aluminum, not fiberglass, okay? Not rubber, not ABS. That's been tried before. That cracks terribly and isn't repairable. That's one piece aluminum wrapped over the edges. Makes the odds of a leak very, very slim. So just a better build when you get into this product. Now, one of the things I want to talk about is this front storage box here, because they do that different. So we got a one-piece ABS plastic box here that's really thick. It's not that thin stuff that cracks. It's when you pick up that lid, it's thick and molded, but with the pop-up set up, you can't really see it. So here's what we're going to do. Right this way. Looky here. This is a slightly different pop-up, but it is the same box. All right, so when you look at this lid, get a hold of it here. It's heavy, it's thick, it's double walled. Okay, it's not going anywhere, number one. Number two, look at that seal that's all the way around there. That's going to seal up tightly, and the truth is it probably doesn't even need that seal because of the way the top comes down over the inner liner there. Probably doesn't even need the seal, but it has it just in case. Third, and most importantly, most pop-ups that have the front box, they've just extended the pop-up. The sidewall comes all the way up to here and then across, and they made a little void in there. There's a problem with that. If there's ever any water penetration into here, it's getting the floor of this wet, which is also the shared floor of your pop-up camper. One of the things we see on older pop-ups, when they have leaked, they've leaked in this front box and they rotted out the floor of this, and then guess what? It also rotted out the floor of the pop-up camper as well. So this is all its own box. If this would get water in it, so what? I don't think it could, but if it did, so what? Nothing's going to hurt it. It's certainly not going to rot out anything on the pop-up itself. So that's the box. Let's go inside. All right, we are inside of the 2018 Utah from Somerset. Big pop-up, a lot of room in here. This is the biggest pop-up I think I've been in. First of all, first thing you notice is the slide out. 12-foot box, that's not uncommon. The slide outs are a little less common. So that is a big slide out there, really opens the space up. Obviously you have beds on either end of this that are both queen size beds, it looks like. You have this sofa here that folds into a bed. You have your freestanding table that can be taken inside, outside, but it's also makes into another bed here. This would be rated to sleep about 8 people. So the whole family can come on this one. This is a loaded up pop-up, has a lot of goodies on it. About the only thing you're not going to see on this from the factory is air conditioning, because there's just some people that don't want air conditioning on their pop-ups. That's fine. If you want air conditioning, it can be be added. It's usually around $1,000 to put an AC on the roof. So it's all the support is there. It's easy to do. It just hasn't been done yet. So if you want an AC, say the word, we'll make that happen. But we certainly have a furnace. We have a water heater. We have a gas and electric refrigerator on this one. We have a 2-burner cooktop as well. And then one of the things on here, some of the pop-ups, you have to flip the sink over to fold the camper down, because obviously this sticks up higher. This is actually a type, again from the Coleman days, it flips all the way down to the floor, but it doesn't invert, so you don't have that water running out of your drain trap onto the floor. The sink stays vertical all the time, so it does not invert. That's a really neat system. There, this does have hot and cold water. You can see 2 faucets there. The other thing, looky here, this is a pop-up with a bathroom. So you have your little shower. There's a shower curtain. There's a rod that hangs here, like a square rod that hangs in these 4 brackets here. There's a curtain that goes around you, and then you actually have a shower here and a toilet. So it's an all-in-one setup. 1-piece door on all the Somerset pop-ups. I think I forgot to mention that on the previous video I did, but this is a 1-piece door. Most pop-ups are 2-piece doors, and you know what they never do? They never close right. They're always kind of wonky on the door. So take a look at any of them, and they're that way. I don't think I've ever seen a 2-piece door that actually fit together really, really well. So 1-piece door works so much better. Yeah, let's take a look here. Get this out of my way. I'll stand this up. The things I like to show on here, get the back of this cushion involved. Okay, there's a piece of like 1/2-inch plywood in there. Your cushions, especially the ones that make into beds, they actually have that reinforcement built into them. Instead of making a platform underneath that's built out of like 1x2s stapled together and a piece of 1/8-inch thick Luan that's supporting you when you're sleeping or sitting, they actually have the support not only in the platform but also in the cushion as well. So it's not going anywhere when you're sleeping on it. So this does pull out. Bed makes down. This would sleep 2. This would sleep 2 kids over here. Same thing on those cushions. Okay, when you lift these up, well, let me see here. There we go. You can actually see solid platform. It has these little plastic nubs that lock in here, so these cushions won't slide out from under you while you're sitting there. You've got steel riveted together underneath here instead of stapled together 1x2s. Those are the things that make this different. Like I said from the beginning, this isn't your cheapest pop-up. Okay, might be the most expensive, but certainly not the cheapest. It is something that's for somebody looking for something more rugged, that's different, that's flat out built better up from the get-go. It's not your cheapest, it's not your lightest, but it's certainly your best built. A lot of neat features here. If you have questions, please don't hesitate. Get with me. I'll be glad to answer them for you. Thank you for watching the video. My name is Chris Anderson. Come see us.